We all promised to help and aid any distressed Master Masons, their widows. But how many of our lodges, let's say we had an elderly member, he's 81, his health is beginning to decline, he doesn't have a lot of financial resources. I don't think we have a lodge in Virginia that could say, we will pay to put that brother in a home or a center for 10 years and pay all of his expenses. Is anybody's lodge in here that can afford that? Probably not. But collectively, as the Grand Lodge of Virginia is a fraternity, we have a facility where brethren, their wives, and widows can live. Not go to die, but go to continue living. And that is something we can't do as individuals. That is something we can't do just as a lodge. And that's one thing we need to emphasize when we talk to the brethren about the importance of the home, is it is a way that we are living our obligations and we are fulfilling a commitment that we have made. You know, and the home was first started, it was for orphans, and it was for the same reason. You know, we had our membership realized in the late 1800s there was a problem. There were brethren who had passed away. There were orphans. The mother wasn't able to provide for them. And we started the home originally to take care of those children. And we did that all the way through the early 70s. And then the government got more involved. And as they took over that service and the care of children who were in need, we had evolved into a different type of facility that took care of our older members, their wives, and widows. It's something that we could do collectively as a fraternity. But there's another aspect to that, and I don't think there's any shame in selling it. When somebody comes in, we tell them they're entitled to the rights and benefits of Freemasonry, don't we? And it sounds really nice. You join an organization that has rights and benefits. Well, guess what one of those benefits is? By being a Master Mason in good standing, and you've been a member at least 10 years, you can come here one day. And there's several different options for it. That's a heck of a benefit. If you go out and try to buy a long-term care insurance policy, they're pretty darn expensive. I don't know if any of you have one, but they're a lot of money. And many of our brethren couldn't afford them, don't think about getting one, don't plan on it, and then what happens, they get to a stage in life where one or two things happen. Either they want to downsize, and maybe then their wife make the decision, hey, we'd like to not take care of this big home anymore. We'd like to go somewhere where the grass is cut and we can get meals, and we'll move into a cottage at the home, which is wonderful. But we do have some brethren and their wives that unfortunately get to a situation financially where they can't maintain their life anymore. And if you've ever gone and seen a state subsidized facility for folks who live in when they get older, it's a little bit of a scary experience. If you've never been one, I encourage you to find one in your area and go look at it. Make a visit. And you will see what a jewel we have here in the Masonic Home of Virginia. And that's a benefit for every Virginia Mason. There's no shame in saying to everybody, hey, guess what? If you become a member, stay in good standing at least 10 years, down the road, if you wanted to, one of the benefits is you can live at the home. That's a great benefit. And it's something we ought to promote more, that's one of the things you get out of your membership in this fraternity. We've got to do a better job of educating our members why this home is important. Even if they never live here, they're living their obligation and taking care of brethren who will. And we need to get our members to know that those are serious obligations. And they mean more than just words. We've got to carry them out. So we've got to get that message across. And if we do that, that's going to encourage them to come here when we have open events like Family Day in October. It is going to encourage them to give more. It's going to make them think that when there is a brother in distress, and this happens way too often, we've got a member who's suffering. He's maybe eating a meal a day at home. His health's declining, and nobody's looking at him, or nobody knows what to do. It'll maybe motivate them to go talk to that brother. Hey, have you thought about going to the home? And I know we've had some people come in here who were in bad health, and they ended up living for years because once they got here, they were engaged with people again. They were getting good medical attention. They were getting good meals, and their quality of life improved. And as Masons, isn't that something we want for all of our members, that they've got a good quality life, and we know there's a safe place they can go to where they can enjoy their senior years. That's a really good achievement. So we've got to focus on that, and we need you as the ambassadors when you're in your lodges, in your districts, in your areas, regions. We need you to tell the story of why this home is important to every Master Mason, whether they ever live here or not. Why they need to support it financially to maintain our obligations. You know, we are one of the very few Masonic homes left in the country that restricts the home to Masons and their wives and widows. A lot of them have become just homes. They open it up to the public. Anybody can go if they can pay the bill. And you know, when you do that, it's no longer the fraternity's home. It's just another facility. And that's one thing I think has been a blessing here, in addition to good medical care, good meals, a clean facility, is they know the other people that are here are part of their extended family. They're Masons, they're Masons' families. They're the people they know that they've got something in common with. And in today's divisive world, isn't it nice to be able to go to a place where you know the people there? Maybe you don't know them all, but you've got something in common with them right from the beginning. You can develop friendships and bonds and build on what's already there as part of a fraternity. So I encourage you, when you return home after this conference, be enthusiastic, be positive. Good things are happening in our home. We've got a big capital campaign, the Evergreen campaign, that we need to raise $50 million. That sounds like a lot of money. And it is a fair amount of money. But you know what? If we get our brethren engaged and they see the value of the home, people give to things they believe in. And whether a brother can give the home $100, or in some cases, maybe $100,000, they're only going to do that if they see a value, if they perceive that the home is doing something that they care about. And we have to get that message out there. When I first became Mason, I kept hearing, you know, Masonic home, and Rich, back then we just called it the home. We didn't call it Mahova, just the home. And I didn't know anything about it. I just thought, well, I guess that's where you go if you got nowhere else to go. Nobody really talked about it. Nobody said anything. You'd get an envelope once a year, ask you for a donation. And we have to do better than that. There's so many good stories here. And I encourage you, one thing I'm going to ask you to do this year, we want to make this the biggest family day we've had in a long time, in October. And we want to get brethren here from all over Virginia, from the Eastern Shore to the Southwest. And we're going to do some really unique things this year. We're going to have a colonial theme. We're going to have colonial arts and crafts. We're actually going to get, thanks to the work of the Development Office, we're going to have Virginia's 250. It's like a traveling museum. It's going to be here that day. And at 1 o'clock, we're going to lay a wreath. Many of you have probably seen out here in the hall, there's some bronze plaques out there of several of the orphans that lived here at the home that died in World War II. You know, most people just walk by them and don't pay any attention. This year, we're going to lay a wreath there as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country. And we're going to recognize the sacrifice those orphans made for all of us. And try to bring their story a little bit back to the front. And again, to show the importance of this home. So let's get those people engaged. Let's encourage our brethren to give. Let's encourage them to make a visit up here. You know, the staff will set up a visit anytime. If somebody says, well, I've never been in the home, I can't come for this. If you make a phone call, they'll find the time to give a tour. And we need to get every Virginia Mason to come to Mahova and see what it is. I thank you again so much for coming out. I appreciate all the work you're doing. And I and the Grand Line are all here to support you. If there's anything we can help you with in your work as an ambassador, please feel free to call on us. Thank you very much.